Hi everyone, it's Kelly and welcome to my channel Be You. So basically my channel, if you're just discovering me, it's all about metaphysics, healing. It also talks about certain services that I offer and my experience with the service. Um, Up in the description, it also lists my webpage where you can find all services and more will continue to be added as I keep growing and expanding. So, today is Angel Talk. I do this every Monday, or at least I try every Monday at 10 p.m. What I basically do is I'm a channeler. If you don't know what a channeler is, I do have a um, video on that, but just a brief thing. It's basically what I do is I channel the angels and I allow them to come through. So if anyone comes online that actually wants a question or need guidance, then this is the time to do it. And like I said, I try to do this every Monday at 10 p.m. Eastern time. If something was coming up, if there's a question that you need assistance with that you would like to ask the angels, and maybe you're just too nervous or shy to come on the Facebook Live, you can always email me through my webpage or my email address, which is musardk05 at gmail.com. And you can ask your question there. And then come Monday, I will answer it, or technically the angels will answer it for you. And we won't give you or your name or anything like that. That way you do have privacy. So, excuse me. So, the whole ideal of this is that a lot of people know that there's angels around but not sure how to talk to them or not sure um how to hear them or sense them or anything like that. So I was given this information a few months ago by meditating with the angels to start being a active channel with them. Through my work, I realized I've actually been working with the angels this whole time. So you're talking about, I think, 6 or 7 years now that I just totally got into metaphysics and just needed healing for myself. And that's what led me to one or the other and all these teachers. I'm just going to move this down just a little bit. Okay. So yeah, and it's all on my YouTube. I go through a bunch of things, but this whole time is just focused on people coming in that has questions that needs to know the answers or guidance and whatever. Even if no one does have questions, it's still going to be channeling the angels. And even if you're catching this after the recording, it's still, there's a message for you. So remember that you will find this when divine timing. All right. Um, yeah. So, like I said, I offer a lot of different services. But I always try to take the first couple minutes of this and kind of promote what I do because it's not always the easiest thing to promote yourself and get yourself out there. But as you keep doing it, you get more comfortable. So, I'm a crystal healer, which what that basically means is I use crystals and I put them on the body to do healing. Um, I also do IET, which is integrated energy healing. That's basically hands on healing, but it can also be remote, just like crystals. You don't actually have to have the person in front of you to in tune to the crystals and then put the crystals where they need to go. So all my stuff is can be done remotely. I also do tarot and oracle readings. I've been doing that for a couple of years now. And I have access to a lot of different decks and oracles. I have over, I think, 150. So there's definitely I'm kind of like a own little store. So yeah, so I fell in love with Oracle and Tarot cards. They came very natural to me. Um, Also, I am about ready to put this on my webpage, but I'm going to start doing rune readings. And runes come from the Viking time. Um, and they would take these runes and they would basically put them on clothing and on, like, if they were going into battle, they would actually have it basically engraved into their swords and their shields and their armor for protection, like they would choose protection. So I'm really excited about going to go ahead and move forward to doing readings using runes. Runes have been around before tarot and oracle, but you can actually do readings with them just as much as you can with tarot or oracle cards. So I'm excited about that. Um, I do have some angel oils that I channel the angels and they create it. I have garden angel spray, and then I also have abundance angels spray, and that's just literally as simple as you spraying it. And I normally spray it in my face. You close your eyes, of course, and you just spray it and you just breathe it in and then just see what happens. Yeah, I've been using the abundance spray every day, and it's yeah, the amount of abundance that happens is pretty impressive. Okay, so I'm pretty sure that's it. If you're interested in what I create my personal one of a kind sun catchers. I create jewelry, crystal jewelry. I create angel oils. Um, I'm also creating different type of earrings with abalone shell, and that's the one that's got that beautiful like rainbow inside. Um, yeah, very lovely. I think that's about it. And also, if you're interested, I do have some collections and print tarot and oracle cards that's on my Etsy, and I also stuck it on Facebook. Um, and basically, all those are print and date. Doreen Virtue, if you haven't heard of her, you can search her. Every one of those are her decks before she left the metaphysics world. So therefore, they're no longer in print, haven't been in print for a couple of years. So I would highly recommend checking that out because some of them are going on Amazon for like $80, $90, and I'm actually only asking for 50 because I'm done using them. So passing them on. All right. So, with that being said, I think it's time to go ahead and get the angels in. That way they can talk and communicate and get whatever messages that they need. So, I'm going to just take a moment and just call them in. And I'm going to move this. Sorry. There we go. Okay. One of the biggest things that we hear is that how can you trust the guidance that you are receiving? How do you know it's really the angels, or your guardians, or your guides? It's one of the biggest things that we hear from humans is how can I trust what I'm receiving? And that's a really good question. And I think that's where we're going to start this conversation tonight with is trust. So, one thing we want to talk about is one thing that you will notice if it is somewhat of a higher beings talking to you, where if it's us, the angels, or star beings, or dragons, unicorns, it doesn't matter, is that it will never be negative. What will come through your mind will never be negative. We, as a collective of non-human, non-physical beings, is that we do not have ego, our little selves, our little kids inside, telling us what to fear and what's wrong and what's right. So, therefore, if you're getting a message, a strong message, and it feels very good, that it feels very positive, then we can assure you that is us. And we do not leave anyone out. But you all have free will. So therefore, we do not intervene because we cannot. That's the greatest thing with free will. But if you sit and ask us for help, we will help you. And we will do it for the highest good of you. Now, a lot of things that happen, you would say, and this is just normal, by the way, she yawns a lot while we're channeling. Um, Back to what we were saying. You would say, why did I choose this life? It just seems like a struggle. It seems like when I get a solution or answer to one thing, another problem comes up, and then another problem, and another problem. But we would say none of them are problems. All of them is learning opportunities. So there's a really good saying is that don't say, why is this happening to me? Instead, why is it happening for me? And we would sit here and tell you that the most thing that humans do is they attack themselves. So let's say that you heard a message in your mind, right? Because most of the time, it sounds like it's you in your mind talking. You cannot cannot tell the difference between us versus you. So that's why the lack of trust and not sure if you're talking to the angels or not when it's yourself. So the whole ideal is that it's got to be very positive, but also very that we're always around. And we're always here for your highest good. And if you switch that wording around instead of why is this happening to me and switch it to why is this happening for me, it's always something greater that you didn't see coming that will come out of this learning experience. Perfect example. We're going to just use Kelly's day here. She used the Abundance Angels oils and she sprayed it this morning before she left for the day. And she had a really very abundance day. Very high level, high energy day. And then all of a sudden she came home and she went to check her mail. And there was a check in there for her rain stick that she created for a person. And then all of a sudden, she noticed a box that looked very familiar. And it was happened to be a box of books that she mailed out late last week. and somehow the address got ripped off where it was returned to sender. So at that moment, she got quite frustrated. She was on a very high vibration, and that just took her down very quickly to what? Like, what happened? This has never happened. What do I do? So as she brought it in, her mind started going of like, what do I do? Why is this happening? And right there, why is this happening? She didn't say to me, but she might as well. And when you say those words makes it feel like you're being attacked. That's those are not loving words. Instead of if she would have said, okay, this is happening for my highest good. At this moment, I'm not sure why this is happening for me, but there's a reason that it's happening for me. So when she went to do this package last week, something told her to kind of make sure that the name and address was really taped down on that box, because it was traveling quite far. But she didn't listen to that word that came in, that saying that came into her mind. Instead, she said it would be okay, and it wasn't. So then she remembered that coming pretty strong of like, hey, go ahead and just put a piece of tape right there with where the name and address is. Normally, when you guys have that happen, is when you start beating yourself up, like, oh, I knew that was going to happen. It came to me in when I was doing it and I didn't listen. And before you know it, you're just attacking yourself. And that's not where you want to go. You don't want to attack yourself, because then you just keep going on a very more negative road, negative pathway, and it's harder for you to kind of stop and kind of get back to your so-called, what you guys would say normal would be. So she caught herself because she's been practicing a lot of like, oh, right, like this is okay. This is not a problem. This is something bigger than I can understand right now. And we understand that there's things that you guys would take as bigger than a package getting returned. You would say, well, okay, what if you have a disease? And we would say dis-ease, because that disease is something you created for your highest good. And I'm sure right now a lot of you would be disagreeing with us on that statement of like, what? I wouldn't create cancer in my body, so for my highest good. And the thing is, when it comes to disease, you're constantly attacking whatever it is. But if the cancer is in your body, aren't you attacking your own body? So, the ideal here, the thing that we want to get at tonight, is that every thought and every action you do has other actions. If you have pain, let's say you were molested as a child and you told very little amount of people, you still have shame and guilt and a lot of other things around that abuse, that you feel that you were a victim and that you've been living with that shame and guilt. And instead of really getting it out of the body, you stuffed it down. So now it's in the stomach. And let's say you all of a sudden, 20 years down the line, you get cancer in the stomach. Those two would be related, because you did not approach what happened to you. You did not, you guys would say, deal with what happened, you stuffed it down where now you created a dis-ease in the body. So how about dis-ease in the nose? Right? How many of you guys have allergies? How many of you guys have infections with the nose? Have you ever stopped to ask, why do I have this dis-ease right now? Why is this happening for me? And if not, maybe you should start questioning on that level. And what you will see, what you will realize is when instead of going for why is this happening for me? My car got a flat tire. Why is this happening for me? Right? Say it. You can say this exercise with us to feel the difference. Went to work to realize my tire's flat. Now I'm going to be late. Why is this happening to me? Right? But if you change it, went out, went to get ready to get in my car to drive to work, notice I had a flat tire. Why is this happening for me? Could it be that there's going to be a big accident on the highway and you're going to be late regardless, but because of that tire and it's flat, that you have to take that 15 to 20 minutes to fix it now? You won't actually spend 15 to 20 minutes on the highway in a traffic jam, and you will actually get to work at exactly the same time. Quite interesting to think about it like it, huh? And that's the funness about life here on planet Earth, is that there's so many positive things that's happening to you, for you, throughout the whole day. We would say don't get bombarded with the what you would consider bad things, which there are no bad things. But for the sake of you, let's just say bad things. The ideal here is that if you get bombarded with the bad things, all you will see all day is how everything went bad. You won't see how tons of things went good for you, because you're already looking and you're bringing that into your universe is where's the bad. Might as well bring it on in. And then before you know it, it just seems like everything is going wrong that day. But if you start your day with, okay, I'm going to get in my car. I got a flat. Okay. This clearly is for my highest good. This is happening for me. And I'm going to go ahead and fix the tire. Then I'm going to head into work. And then what do you know? You get to work about the same time you would have without having the flat. And then you go, huh, that's interesting. Not sure how that happened. Must have been like someone was watching out for me. And then in lunch, let's say you packed your lunch. And it was quite delicious. It tasted better than when you made it the night before. And then your work just seems to go at ease. It seems to go perfectly normal. No hiccups, no computer issues, no technology issues. It just seemed like it just all went quite well. And then before you know it, your day just flying by and you get to go home. And then you get out to your car and you have another flat. And you go, okay, I'm not really sure what's going on. Is this a sign that maybe I should get my tires all checked? Maybe there's something not right with my tires, where if I'm driving at high speeds, will be very dangerous for me. Or maybe this is one of these days that I'm liking to run over nails and get the other tire flat to match the other side from this morning. The ideal is that you can actually make it fun even when it doesn't feel like it's going to be fun. But you do have a choice as the human here to choose to look at this as, how can I have fun with this? Or look at it as, what's going to happen next? So that experience that we were just walking you through, this person decided they're going to go get their car tires checked out. They're just like, this is kind of feels more like a sign to me. And they did. And then they realized, oh, those tires are not good tires. And that they tell them it's actually quite shocking that nothing happened to you while driving on the highway. And then you go, well, somebody must have been looking out for me. Yeah. So that was just a little story of how what you would think as something bad happening to you, we were showing you how it can happen for you and for the highest good of you. So, just one little story. So, a recap here. How can you know that the information that you're getting is good information, that it's from us, the angels? Simple. It will be very positive. And if that does not help, then you can always ask, is this the angels talking? And listen for us to respond. We actually respond quite quickly to anybody that actually calls us in for a conversation. And we give you an answer very quickly as well. But we are not here to live your life. We're just here to guide you. Sometimes you just have to trust yourself. I know everything else is going to be great. Trusting yourself, we would say, is probably more scary than trusting the angels, us, or any other non physical beings. And we would ask you, why do you think that is? Why do you feel that you cannot trust yourself? We guarantee you it's some wound that you have from your past. That's why you don't trust yourself. When you let go of all control, that means you're trusting yourself and everybody around you for whatever is to come. And it's not always going to be the easy rainbow road, because then you wouldn't learn anything, and therefore there would be no reason for you to stay in the human body. Instead, you embrace, like, okay, all right, I'm going to learn something new with this experience. So, going back to Kelly's story about the return box, she's never done that. She's never had a box get returned. So she gets to go on a different adventure and see what happens. See how that works. So, a couple of key notes that we want to leave you guys with tonight. One, anything that is positive that you hear out of your mind, that is us. When you literally say, angels, I need blah, 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 we will be there listening to you. And if it's for your highest good, then it will be contained. Point number 2 of the night: nothing is happening to you, but everything is happening for you. Number 3, how can you look at your days with a more positive mindset? Number 4, are you ready to let go of childhood pain? If you answered yes to that, then you should either reach out to Kelly or you can call us in to help. We feel at this time that that's a good amount to cover and to talk to you about. Um, and if you do want your question to be answered, then you can also email her if you are too scared or afraid to come on to this live, or maybe you cannot reach this. Maybe it's not in your time zone, it doesn't work for you. You can still email her your question, and then next Monday she will answer it. Which we will answer it, but she will help. Okay. On that note, we're going to say goodnight to you guys and get her to come back in. That way she can go ahead and open her eyes. And as always, we do enjoy talking to you and helping you in any way we possibly can. That way that you can understand that your sole purpose here is to have fun and joy in everything you do. Good night, and we will talk to you soon. It's always, so bright. Okay. All right. So that was Monday's Angel Talk. Ooh, Hopefully, you enjoyed their messages and what they have to say. Hopefully, it helped you or guide you on whatever is coming up for you. Um, and throughout the week, sometimes I'll get back and just do a angel talk, where they just come in and do a message. But until then, you all have a lovely night, and I will talk to you later. Bye.